Hello, welcome to Shad Life. Well, I'm gonna do a little in-car video of my new Silverado EV and do some driving with it. And just to start off with this, because when I did the Santa Cruz Vala, I did like 3 videos in a row on that bike and on e-bikes, and somebody was like, is this becoming a e-bike channel now, right? And so now I'm going to be doing 2 videos in a row on my Silverado EV. This is Shad Life. This is about things that I'm into, right? And I just got this truck, so yes, I'm going to do a few videos about it back to back. But no, this is not becoming a car channel or an EV channel or anything like that. I'm just talking about my new truck that I got, and I will be using this a lot to travel with and go biking with and things like that. So I'm gonna do a little driving video with it. I have my GoPro set up here, and it shows outside the window and kind of the front cabin area, and it'll show my hands. So it's kind of funny. I mean, I see car review videos all the time, and they've got them really well organized and thought out. This probably isn't going to be of that quality, but it'll be okay. But I don't have a microphone or anything because I want you to hear what it sounds like in here when I'm driving. And yeah, it'll be like watching POV footage of me on the bike, because you'll just see my hands on the wheels and what's out front and things like that. So it'll be interesting. And this is kind of experimental for me too. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, here we go. I am going to go drive around a little bit. I'll hit the highway too. I'm just in my neighborhood. Speed limit is 20 miles per hour in the neighborhoods and stuff, so pretty mellow here. But few things immediately about this truck. One, I have the aggressive one pedal driving right now, so I am letting off the accelerator to come to a stop. I haven't hit the brake, and there, I just came to a complete stop using the one pedal driving, and it's pretty aggressive. It's cool because it's very linear with my foot, and I'm used to one pedal driving because I have driven an EV for quite some time now, and I really like it. Some people don't like it just because they're so used to the traditional automatic transmission where when you let off the accelerator you keep rolling, and sometimes I feel like you almost like don't slow down at all, you just keep going. Right? If you like that feel, you can turn off the regen or lower it or whatever, but if you use the regen, you're going to get better range results, especially around town, because around town is when you're doing a lot of stop and go traffic. So that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna drive up here and get on the highway in a little bit here, and I'm not gonna run the video the whole time for that. So yeah, let's go get on the highway and we can play around with the acceleration a little bit, which is pretty cool. So let's do that. Oh, and before we get on the highway, I just want to talk about these modes. So it has different modes. It's got tow haul, off-road, normal, which is what I have it in now, and it has my mode, and my mode is where I can set the settings to make it feel more sporty or mellower or whatever. And one of the things that you can do each thing individually. Like you can make the steering feel sporty but the driving feel more normal, or vice versa, or whatever. There's a few settings in there which is pretty cool that I like. Right now I'm just putting it in its default normal mode. This is like drives pretty normal, like like a normal car. I mean, it still has a ridiculous amount of power, but if I go into my mode and set it into sport mode, it's gonna have pretty quick acceleration. And then there's this wide open watts button, which is silly. Like it turns it into a dragster, right? So Not so sure how much you need the wide open watts, but it does add a fun factor if you ever want to like get the full power of the motors. But of course, just like anything, if you drive it like that all the time, you're not gonna get very good efficiency, right? So yeah, let's go get to the highway. There is a lot of traffic. So this Mazda is gonna also turn ahead of me, so I don't know how well, like, I'm shocked at how much traffic there is, being that it's 1:22 on a Sunday. I just don't know where all this traffic is coming from, and now I hear a siren and I have no idea where that's coming from. Wild. We'll see if I can play. I put it in my mode and set the things to sport. I gotta find out where this emergency vehicle is. It must be somewhere else. Okay, now I'm gonna try to give this guy some space. I'm gonna be slow. It's gonna annoy everybody. Yeah, he's up there far enough, so here we go. I'm already up to 65. All right, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's fast, and that's not even wide open watts. That's just sports mode. If I push this wide open watts button, it's even faster. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Driving on the highway, I mean, it feels almost like too punchy, so I don't like. I think normal is probably a little nicer driving on the highway, because now it mellows everything out, and I feel like I can normally accelerate, and if I need to accelerate fast, I just push the accelerator even more. I sometimes want to call it the gas, but it is no longer gas, because this is all electrons here. So yeah, it drives super nice on the highway. It's you know, I mean, the steering isn't super tight. It's okay. It definitely feels more like an SUV than a truck, like a typical pickup truck. They've gotten a lot better over the years, but they don't feel like super solid, and they're kind of like, when you go over bumps, they kind of have a rougher ride and stuff. This feels way more like what you would feel like if you were driving a midsize or larger SUV, which is kind of nice and super comfortable. This traffic is a lot to deal with, so I'm gonna go ahead and exit here. And the nice thing is, this is a clover leaf, so we can see how it feels on, you know, like a tighter turn. It doesn't feel like a truck. So I'm still one pedal driving, so I let off the accelerator. I'm able to slow down to the speed I need. Now they say 30, but let's see here. Kind of push it a little bit. What am I doing? 35? Yeah, let's say 35 is kind of the max here, because of the taller sidewall tires and the weight of this thing. But then when you get here, I'm already up to 66, right? I mean, this thing just is, it's just like any EV. It just goes. It's so nice, like, to be able to have that, like, really good acceleration when you need it or want it, or if you want to play with it, right? So yeah, there you have it. I mean, highway is awesome. I don't know what else more to say. Oh, let's talk a little bit about range. I have 57% battery right now, and it's got 242 miles of range left. And it's colder out. It is, what's the temp? 41 degrees right now. So that's not bad. It's a lot more range, like 57% in my previous car would have been around maybe 120, no, maybe 150 miles, somewhere in there, depending on the conditions and the speed I'm going or whatever. So I mean, this is gonna go long distances between charges. That's the main reason why I bought it. I really like the range on this thing. It's gonna be good. So yeah. one of the cool things is that Google Maps is just integrated right in. So I have, like, you know, I signed in with my account, so all my stuff is here, my work, my home, other places I visited, and so on. And just because it just happened, another thing, and I'm assuming I can set these settings up, I just haven't done it yet, but when there's a car in my blind spot, especially if I have my turn signal on, I think that's when it does it. The side of my seat that car is on will vibrate. So just now I had my turn signal on waiting to turn, and a car pulled up on the left side of me, and the left side of my seat vibrated to, like, let me know there was a car there, which I think is kind of silly, but it's good. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it kind of makes me a little more aware, like, oh, what was it? Oh, okay, there's a car there, right? So it's just added preventive things, and it won't bother me as long as it works right. And that's kind of my opinion on a lot of these technologies, is if they actually work as designed, they won't bother me. But if they do some weird stuff, that unexpected things, then it'll bother me, right? Or get buggy or things like that. So that we'll find out about. But back to the maps, this is a huge screen, like, and it works just like Google Maps. But then the thing I really like about it is I still have access to, I mean, I have buttons down here for quick climate controls, but I have all of this in the menu too that I can just touch and do. I don't have to navigate into the menu or into the screen to do it like some other vehicles out there. And then there's these quick little link things up here that I can hit. So if I want to go home and look at all my apps, I just hit that and there I am, right? But it's super cool. There's music, maps, that's like split screen stuff, so if you want partial maps, music, or whatever, right? Like, so pretty cool, and well thought out, I guess is the word that I want to talk about. Like, it's what do you call it, UI UX. It's the world I'm in as a software engineer. It's well thought out in that respect. So all right, I'm gonna get over. Yeah, it warns me of where vehicles are at and things like that, which is pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna stop and then we will talk more about this truck. Okay, so a short little driving demo of the truck. The next thing I want to do with this is like a range test, and I actually have to go down to Iowa in a couple of weeks, and when I do that, I can do a range test. Now, here's how I do range tests, is in all of my stuff, all of my content, is I just do it as a normal person would, or as I would do it. Like, if you go see a lot of range tests out there, they do all this meticulous thing. They charge to 100%. They get in, they're really careful about the numbers, and then they get on the highway and they make sure that they keep a specific speed and all of that stuff. That isn't how we normally drive. It certainly isn't how I drive. I'm, you know, sometimes you get into traffic, you're stop and go. Sometimes I'm going faster. Sometimes I slow down because I'm, you know, in traffic or whatever the reason, right? Like, I vary my speed relatively. Yes, I do tend to set the cruise, but I'm not gonna be like super precise. I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm going on a trip to Iowa and I'm gonna come home, and what's that experience like? What are my range numbers looking like? What the weather is gonna be, what the weather is. I'm gonna drive how I drive, right? So that's how I like to do them, like realistic, like this is what you're gonna experience when you drive an EV, not, oh, I did this very meticulous thing. I mean, I get why they do it, because they want to just get an accurate number so they can compare it to other EVs. If you want that, it's all over YouTube. I'm just going to do what my experience is with how I do things, right? And if I put bikes on the back, that's gonna have a little bit of wind drag, right? So stuff like that, right? So yeah, there you have it. I appreciate your support for my channel. Peace.